Greetings everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Captain Rye, and today I've got another World of Warships video for you. This time I'm in a division with a couple of buddies of mine, and we're all in our rebalanced Japanese destroyers. Specifically, two of us are in our Shima and one of us is in his new Yagumo. There's been some discussion and some debate on whether or not this rebalancing the Japanese destroyer line has been any good. And of course, a lot of people complaining that in doing so, it's completely ruined it. And I sort of agree. I started playing my Shima a while back when I first found out about the line change-up, because I knew that the FUBUKI at Tier 8, which was my favorite Japanese destroyer, was going to go away, and I didn't want to try and figure out how to play something else. So instead, I just swapped over, and that's where I've been at since. The Shima was once the pinnacle of the Japanese destroyer line, and then it got nerfed. And other than the Minakaze, which also got nerfed, really made the FUBUKI at Tier 8 the pinnacle of the Japanese destroyer line. But now that FUBUKI doesn't exist anymore, so it's all back on to the Shima. The map mode is Ridgeline or Mountain Range or whatever it is. Domination mode, going to the B cap point here with my division mates. So pretty much with all three of us here, I think we'll be covered for torpedo spamming. Been detected as I push into the cap point, pop my smoke and start turning around. Slowing down, trying to stay within my smoke. I'm going to take a couple of shots there. Surprisingly enough, it sounds like they hit me, but they didn't actually do any damage. The second shots, though, do manage to do it. A little bit of a replay bug here. I'm actually targeting that turpets off in the distance, and not the ship that's behind it there. So this first set and second set of torpedoes are going to be directed at it, so you can see there. Enemy destroyers in the cap zone pretty much got them to leave by spamming torpedoes. So many torpedoes. And of course, if you're in a destroyer and you see two Shimakazes and a Yagumo in front of you, you should probably assume lots and lots of angry fish heading your way. Some of the changes to the Japanese destroyer line, specifically impacting the Shimakaze, that a lot of people are complaining about, are the changes to the ballistics and the guns. Specifically, the reduction in damage that they do. You get a higher rate of fire, but you get less damage per shot. Now, it looks like my torpedoes are on track to hit that turpets. Hopefully I can hit him and knock him out. Come on, there was two. Can I get one more, two more? Let's do this. Let's finish the guy. There is one more, not enough to kill him. Almost. Successful base capture there. He looks like he's flooding. Hopefully I can flood him to death and get the kill, but it's not to be. The kill is stolen from me by somebody else over on the other side. Oh well. It happens. At this point, enemy team is down 2 ships, and they're down almost 2 full caps. Though that's not to say that they won't try and regain those caps. As you can see, more torpedoes coming in there. And of course, as I leave the B cap point, enemy destroyers that are unseen are capping it. So I'm going to stick around here, and I'm going to continue to defend at the B cap point. And that's basically the consensus with my division mates, that we're just going to troll right around with B location and fire off torpedoes at ships in the distance there. And if we can spot those pesky destroyers, we can hopefully take them out of the game as well. There are 2 battleships off in the distance, and I'm looking at the one over there, fire off one set of torpedoes there, fire off a set of torpedoes there, and there is the pesky little destroyer who was capping. I say he was capping because we've managed to chase him out of the cap zone, and of course, why wouldn't we when you consider the whole situation? Pop my smoke again. I definitely don't want him spotting me or dealing with him, and I'm going to continue to pour fire onto him as best possible. Div mates, though, they're also doing it. I mean, we like to play our Shimikazes, very much so, kind of like we play our Fletchers. It's a gunboat if it's in the right hands, and as you can see, we are just pouring the fire on them. I'm not afraid to use it. I'm not afraid to use it even against things like the Fletcher or the Gearing, because, I mean, honestly, if I can go in and grab you, I'm going to do that. Managed to land a couple of torpedo hits on both of those battleships in the distance there and secure, with guns, the kill on that destroyer. So far, so good. Doing pretty well at this point. B cap point is definitely secure, but the enemy is capping C and they have capped A. So they are going to possibly get a cap advantage now. Still staying in my smokescreen, and I'm using my guns at this point because that Atago in the distance there, he's maneuvering pretty heavily. I'm pretty sure that any torpedoes that I fired out would most likely miss based on the course that he's heading. So because of that, I'm going to hold my torpedoes in reserve and maybe I'll get a better target. Fire off at that battleship before he disappears, along with my division mates who have also fired off at that battleship. And that battleship's pretty low health. He's also in a really bad position. I mean, I wouldn't want to be in his position. I've been in his position before. 3 Japanese torpedo boats, all having their torpedoes come up at about the same time, ruining your day. And as you can see there, div mates torpedoes off in the distance, pretty well off. Firing more torpedoes out towards that Atago. Maybe with any luck I'll be able to catch something in a nice wide net, but it's probably unlikely. That North Carolina somehow manages to dodge my div mate's torpedoes, which is a bit unfortunate for him. He could have definitely used the kill. He was having some frame rate issues with his graphics card, dropping him down to like 5 frames per second, so he really did not perform very well in the battle. Managed to set that North Cal on fire just in time for him to be killed by somebody else. Well, this happens. And unfortunately, as I suspected, my torpedoes against the Atago gonna miss by a country mile. Or in this case, a nautical mile. Okay, that was a bad pun. I'm sorry. I won't do that again. But I'm not going to stop just because my torpedoes aren't ready. I'm going to continue to pour fire on him and try and set him on fire. Maybe get a kill secure. And, I mean, I'm doing pretty well. The guns on the Shimikaze have always been reasonable. It's just a matter of knowing when to use it and whether or not it's actually safe to use it. Like, I'm detected for the most part, but the Atago's firing at other people, and I'm a pretty good distance away. The Atago is taken out, and the enemy team has managed to pull some of the ship's team lists back, but they are definitely suffering as they're down to just 3 ships remaining. Shortly here, they're going to be down to just 1, and it's going to be that North Carolina in the distance. Managed to capture the C cap point, and our team is doing their best to capture A. We now have total cap domination, and the enemy team is basically routed and running. There's not much left that they can do. It's really just now a matter of how much more damage we can farm before we end up capping out. The North Carolina, he is kind of sailing broadside on and kind of not. So I'm going to fire off first 2 sets of torpedoes in front of the lead indicator, depending on the way he turns. And I'm going to get that 3rd set well in front if he turns again. And this was part of a coordinated assault by my div mates back there that we were going to run my torpedoes in front, their torpedoes on or behind the depending on which way he turns. So we were going to guarantee that we were going to nail him with at least one. And he's so low health. One is all we need. As you can see there, they've lost another ship, and they're about to lose their destroyer. Continuing to open fire with my guns, because why not? I might as well get some extra damage in. My team is shooting at him. Who knows? I might set him on fire, and I might secure the kill. My torpedoes are looking pretty damn good at this point. Come on, can I do it? Almost. Yes, they've lost their destroyer. There it is. My kill with torpedoes. Not bad. 158,000 damage done. 515,000 credits earned. I honestly... People complain that the Shimakaze got nerfed in this patch. I don't see it. I think the Shimakaze is doing just fine. Second on the team for XP earned, beaten out by a Benson, but just barely. I think it's only because he got an extra kill there at the very end, or something of the like. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get some irregular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me and my channel, please do so by visiting my Patreon. If you'd like to see my live streaming, which I'll probably do on Sundays, you can do so by following me on Twitch. And if you've got a World of Warships replay that you'd like me to feature, you can PM me via YouTube, send me a message on Facebook, or email it to me. You can find the links for all of those in the description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.